Councillor Walker.
They're to the fire chief. Councillor Palacio wrote you back in November of '07, and you replied to him in April of '08 on issue, or your designate did, Deputy Chief Leake. That's correct. Raising issues around the St. Clair right-of-way.
Let me clarify that for you, Councillor. The letter was directed directly from Councillor Palacio's office to District Chief Bob Leake. Bob is not a deputy chief. With respect to the St. Clair Ave right-of-way and exclusive use for service by Toronto Fire Service apparatus.
He wrote this letter. He wrote a letter to the district chief.
That's correct.
Okay. And the district chief didn't, when he prepared this response, I assume there was some discussion with you?
He prepared the response, and I was copied on the response. The issue is the exclusivity and the use of the right-of-way by Toronto Fire. We do not use TTC right-of-ways as exclusive right-of-ways for emergency response. So the context of that report is in that letter, is in that fact, that we do not use exclusive right-of-way for response.
You may need to do that to respond. That's what the point was being made. The road could get blocked, and when it did, he would need to use the right-of-way to get through. Is that not the case? And that's what he was responding to as well?
No. I mean, from my perspective, we walk the right-of-way, and the right-of-way can be used by Toronto Fire apparatus to respond.
It can, but the issue is, can it be used safely? And he says it can't.
Again, the letter is written in the context to exclusive right-of-way use.
Well, if you're going to use the right-of-way, that means you have to use it, because that's the only way you can get to the circumstance of the emergency, whether it's a fire or a crash or whatever is the case. Is that not?
Well, Councillor, we would get on and off the right-of-way. We'd move around traffic as was necessary.
Right.
We would not stay on it.
Well, you might have to stay on it, would you not? If there was a blockage along several blocks, you would have to go along the right-of-way, and this letter clearly identifies that might be the case.
For exclusive use of right-of-way, that's what it's referring to.
So to get up on this right-of-way, when your department was involved when the TTC originally went through the consultation process, did your department raise issues then around the right-of-way issues that relative to clearance, accessing the right-of-way in certain emergency situations?
We met with TTC staff. We certainly addressed what our concerns were. We have two right-of-ways in the City of Toronto built prior to St. Clair. That would be the Queen's Quay, right, as well as Spadina, and they're both different formats in the way they're laid out. Right.
Now, the one in the Queen's Quay, there was, in that was the issue of how you access it, and it was supposed to have rounded curbs. Is that not the case?
That is correct.
And it ended up having perpendicular or right-angled curbs.
They had a parapet-type wall.
And in the district chief's response, he said this presented major hazards to the vehicle in terms of blown tires or damaged undercarriage, and in some situations, if they came off at nearly a parallel angle, that their fire truck could roll onto its side. Is that not the case?
Well, certainly, if you were at any rate of speed, that would be potential to occur at a high rate of speed. One would not be operating at a high rate of speed.
Well, what would be the normal speed if you were unobstructed? You had to get onto the right-of-way. Would you be going 30 kilometers an hour? Likely
on the right-of-way?
Yeah.
I would suggest you probably would not.
You wouldn't. But if it
depends on traffic condition, volume, time of year, climatic conditions.
The district chief here indicated that the vehicle could roll over if it came off in certain circumstances. Did he not in the letter?
That's in the letter. That's his comment, and I'm telling you what my comment is.
Well, who is right? This is in writing. It was obviously you knew something about it. You were carboned in on it.
That's correct.
You didn't raise an issue. Nobody raised any issue with this. You and everybody else had it, including the TTC. Only when Councillor Palacio brought it forward, saying nobody's responded to this, is there not the issue of due diligence, and also the liability issues that is presented here. And just because somebody says, are you disowning the comments in this?
No, I'm not.
Okay. So this sits here. and it says that they didn't build it according to the way they said they were going to build it. Did you not raise issues when they were going to build this, that the central poles, that the width of the right-of-way, you had some minimum requirements because of the size of your vehicles and the length of your vehicles?
Our planning staff made those comments with members of TTC involved.
Councillor Walker, I allowed you a little more time, so I'm sorry your time has elapsed.